Hi, this is Ailsa Poling, and I am with Literacy Development 6400 with Justine Brier's class, and I am here today with Tira Pring to talk about some of our readings that we have done in class. So Tira, why don't you introduce yourself, tell me about your background experience, and how long you've been here at the school.
Sure. Again, this is Tira Pring. I am the Literacy Teacher Development Specialist at AZ Kelly here in Metro Schools. I've actually spent my entire 16-year career with Metro Nashville Public Schools. I began teaching in a 96% Title I free and reduced lunch school in East Nashville, and I spent 6 years as a teacher of upper grades there. And then I transferred to Antioch Schools, and I've been here in this area in AZ Kelly for 10 years. So after about 3 years here, I became a literacy coach. So this is my 7th year coaching teachers and students as well. So that's my background and educational experience.
Awesome. Thank you. So we, this semester, have been talking about different theories of education, kind of like Adams versus Goodman. And our readings from this past week, we were reading an article by Bridge, and in that article it talks about using repetitive structures to enable students to be able to anticipate the next line or of rhyming words. So that kind of aligns with Goodman's theory of using context and using educated guessing to help anticipate the next word. So how have you used this, or how have you seen this be used in your time of teaching, and is it an effective strategy, have you seen?
Sure. That's a great question. So in our kindergarten classes, which often could also mean in first grade, or it could mean our English learner pull-out groups or special ed, we love using a shared reading with a big book. And what we do is we take like a highlight piece of tape, or maybe it could be painter's tape, something that we can pull off the book, and we cover up certain anticipated words. Most often they are rhyming words. And what the teacher may do is she may cover that word up, and she may do the shared read and let the students call out what they anticipate the word to be, and then she will uncover it, teach a quick lesson. Maybe it's a very short mini lesson around why they thought it, and sometimes she just goes page by page and does it, just depending on your time frame, your students, and what your purpose is for the read.
Have you seen that work really well, and what other strategies, or is that a strategy, I guess, that teachers use a lot here?
Yes, I do think it's very effective. I think the students need to be comfortable enough, especially in kindergarten, with rhyming words. We often will see upper grade students who can't rhyme. And if they can't rhyme, they most often cannot do the most simple, early literacy skills. So what I would say is, yes, it's very effective. They need to have a deep enough sense of what's coming. They need to be able to anticipate what word is coming, and they need to know why. Oh, it rhymed with cat. Oh, it makes sense in the sentence. Syntax plays a big part of that, because you may have multiple words that form with the at word family, but they need to have enough knowledge around the what makes sense, the syntax, to be able to anticipate the correct word.
Yes. Yeah. So kind of on the opposite end of that spectrum of using educated guessing and using context clues and things like that with Goodman's theory, what about like on the other end of that spectrum with Adams, where they're reading word for word and really working very diligently in that aspect? So is there kind of like a grade where that shifts, or in like tiered interventions? Like, how do you see that?
No, that's a great question as well. So I think there's a very balanced literacy approach in our district, especially at our school. I believe very much in balancing that. All teachers believe accuracy is important. We do small group instruction, guided reading instruction, and accuracy is important. However, we focus very much more on that, lining up with that Adams approach when it comes to small group in tier 2 and 3. Those are your most struggling readers, and they are not accurate. They are not able to read that 1-minute oral reading passage. They are not able to score high enough. They're in the 25th percentile or lower. They need much more explicit phonemic awareness and phonics instruction, and they need to be monitoring more often. They need to be very accurate. We also see that in our special education program here. We see a lot of SPIRE is a very big thing right now with metro schools. It's an intervention used across the district, and it is very explicit as well. And that focuses on one word, keeping it accurate.
Yeah. Now, what about, I guess another question just for further research and further thinking and inquiry, how effective do we think rhyming could be in increasing interest in reading? And then I think it'd be kind of cool to see some sort of research study on if that's something that could help increase test scores, and like how that would come into play. Because I think rhyming, first of all, is very interesting for younger grades to begin with, but is that something that could also be carried through into upper grades as well, through poetry and different studies like that?
Yeah. That's a really good question. It would be interesting to have, the time to do a major case study or do something around rhyming, because I definitely believe if children cannot develop the ability to rhyme and to make sense of rhymes, if we don't teach sing-songy patterns or use song and use poetry in the early grades, will they really be able to be a fluent reader in the second, third, and fourth grades in elementary? That's a great question, and I think it definitely has a correlation.
Hope to see some research on that
Me
soon.
too.
That'd be cool.
That'd be wonderful. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Tiara, for talking today.
Thank you very much.